Hey, good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. I think what I'd like to talk about today is developing and maintaining a creative and flexible mind. Something that is very important in crisis situations, in confusing situations, in situations such as we are probably likely going to find ourselves in the near future, as everything we consider normal isn't anymore. So that's what I want to talk about. And what got me thinking about it was that I think a lot of y'all misunderstood me yesterday, which that's not your fault, that's mine. So we're going to talk about that too. We are expecting big storms. A lady up the street, that's a relative term around here, up the street, said, "We're having terrible storms on Tuesday. Worst they've ever seen." That was like 3 days ago she said that. They can't get the weather right 12 hours from now, let alone 3 days from now. But there is weather. Thunderstorms, tornadoes, things like that. All right, I think some of y'all misunderstood me. The other day, because I got a lot of comments, "Oh, Pastor Joe, don't open a bar. Oh, don't do that. Oh, bar's terrible. Oh, blah, blah." I am not opening a bar. I go to sleep early. Bars typically get going around what, 10, 11? Me? Come on, man. I'm not opening a bar. I was just thinking about it. I think about a lot of things. And just because I vocalize something or discuss something doesn't mean I plan on doing it. Doesn't mean I have intention of going through with that. Have you ever planned a bank robbery? I have. I'm not going to rob a bank. First of all, it's against Torah. But I've planned them. I was in a military course to which at the time, I don't even know if it exists anymore, they sent all Army captains. So whether you are a lawyer, a tanker, a special forces guy, whatever, a logistician, they all went to the same course. And that in itself was kind of interesting. And I guess I'll tell you a couple stories because this isn't going to be that long of a video. My boss, when I was a lieutenant, and the way Army ranks work for officers: second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, major lieutenant, colonel, 1, 2, 3, 4, general, star generals. When I was a lieutenant, my boss was a captain, and he had to go to that course. We were in Hawaii at the time, so he went to the course and came back. And I said, "How was it, sir?" Now, we were pretty hardcore, me and my boss. He had been in special forces because back then you could do that and be in special forces and the infantry. We were in the infantry at the time, and we were pretty hardcore infantrymen. And I'm not saying this is right. Matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and say it's wrong to a degree. We look down on everybody else in the Army pretty much. It's like, slugs. We're hard. And he said, "Do you remember all those kids that were back then it was called advanced camp. It was a 6-week course that ROTC cadets had to go through before they were commissioned. He said, "Do you remember all those kids and idiots at advanced camp?" I said, yes, sir. He goes, well, they're all back, except now they're captains. So I went to this course, and they broke you up into like, I think 16 person classrooms that you stayed with for the entire 9 weeks of the course. And in each classroom, everybody was from a different branch of the military. So I'm the only SF guy. And I made friends with the tanker. Ooh. Weather. I better hurry this story up. Anyway, I'll cut the story short. Me and the guy were sitting at our desk, just a little bit of downtime. We were planning a raid. He was a National Guardsman. We were planning how we would break into his National Guard armory and steal all the guns. We were planning it on paper and drawing it, and the JAG attorney, who I did not get along with, was sitting next to him and just threw a conniption fit. It's like, hey, we're not gonna do it. This is just mental exercise, maintaining, developing a flexible mind. Planning a raid on his National Guard armory because he has the intelligence on it is the same thing as planning a raid on a communist, whatever motor pool. The same principles apply. We're just playing with it because we're bored. No, we're not going to go rob an armory. Give me a break. Some people, evidently this JAG attorney, they can't, their brain isn't that flexible. My grandfather ran a bar. Seemed all right for him and them. Not what I want to do. I don't like being around drunk people, and unfortunately there are drunk people in bars. I don't like being around loud people. There are loud people in bars. I haven't been to a bar. Been to a bar. Probably since around the time of that story, since the early 90s. Well, no, mid-90s. So no, I'm not opening a bar. But that does not prevent me from going through the process. What would it take to open and run a bar? What would I have to do? It doesn't prevent me, even though I know I'm not going to run a bar, from getting irritated that if I wanted to, I basically couldn't. If I had, I'm not having a trailer park either. But I like going through the process. What would I need to do? I'd need to bulldoze the road in here, clear this out, put pads there, have hookups for water and electricity. What am I going to have a dump station on site? How am I going to charge that? How am I going to set? I'm just a planner, man. I'm a contingency planner. And by doing that, by constantly planning different things, it keeps your brain flexible. It keeps it oiled and moving. I've talked on here before, but not for a while, on contingency planning for immediate reaction. If the mountain lion comes out and jumps up on this porch right now, what am I going to do? I'm kind of hosed because normally I have a gun on me, but right now I don't. So we're going hand to hand, man. I constantly ask myself, what if? And you should too. What if? What if this happened? What would I do? How would I do that? You can't say, if a mountain lion jumped up on this porch, I would jump up on top of that roof, because I can't jump that high, right? So ask yourself, what if? And then go through the process. And that's not just tactical things, like the mountain lion jumping up to the porch, but it's just everything. I remember early in my military development, they taught us the military decision-making plan. I can't remember what it's called. It's been a few years. But they teach you how to go through a process, the military decision-making process, how to go through a process and basically come up with a mission, right? Your mission is to destroy the airfield. How are you going to do that? And what they basically force people to do, I do it naturally, and that's what I was like, wow, you guys don't just do this naturally? No. What they force you to do is come up with 3 or 4 different courses of action for, what did I say we were going to do? Attack the airport, disrupt the airport. For disrupting the airport, or let's make it simpler. We're going to raid a communist National Guard armory and take all their guns to give them to the guerrillas. Okay, you have to come up with 3 or 4 ways to do it. They have to all be different. And then they teach you a process where you war game those. All right, we would do this, then the enemy could do this, and then we would do this, and the enemy would do this. We'd do this, and oh, we're dead. Okay, let's do course of action 2. Da, 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 da. And they would make you go through that process, forcing planners to consider other options. And again, I thought it was a little bit dumb because I always consider other options. That's me. I know. I'm less than 1% of the population. But what I'm telling you to do is consider other options. Consider options of things that you don't want to consider. Play with that in your head a little bit. What are you going to do if? It develops and maintains, once you have one, a flexible mind. How would you run a laundromat? I know, because some people don't like bars. See, and that's the thing too about a flexible mind. You have to be able to remove yourself, pop yourself up out of it, and then just look at it for what it is. It's kind of along the lines of emotion versus logic, emotion versus thinking. Take your emotion out of it. So you don't like drunks, you don't like people in bars, you had bad experience with alcohol in your life, you have a bad outlook on alcohol. Don't do a bar. You wouldn't want it. Stop. Okay, noted. You're never doing a bar. Got it. Now, how would you do a bar? By forcing yourself to do that, it helps you develop a flexible mind, which will then be used in other things. You know, it's like storms coming. My brother Cody cut down all the trees that could fall onto my house. So we're good on that. But there are trees that could fall down on the, half-mile of road we have to get out of here at will. So let's say I've got to go somewhere and I go riding up there and there's a tree across the road. We've had that happen. Okay, no problem. Go back down, get the chainsaw, come up, cut it out of the way. What if the chainsaw doesn't work? Well, I could cut it with an axe. I have enough of them. That'll take a while. Or I could call another shofarian to come square me away. Course of action 2. And you just go through those things all the time. Develop a flexible mind. Don't be so quick to judge. Don't be so quick to say, no. You can hang on to that. I'm not telling you to adjust your morals. I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you to have flexible morality. I am not. I am not telling you to have flexible principles. Your principles should be hard and firm. You should periodically, though, unpack your principles. Look at them and decide, are they really your principles and why? And if they are, fine. Boop. Morals, same thing. You should know why your morals are your morals. Deep down, you should unpack them a little bit. And then fine, put them over here. I'm not telling you to question that, but I am telling you to not be so close-minded when you hear something that automatically you just don't like or don't agree with, to say, nope, don't do that. Consider it. They taught us that too in the Special Forces course. And again, I grew up overseas, so I was already kind of used to it. But establishing rapport, cross-cultural communications with other cultures. Cross-cultural, hence the term cross-cultural. Quick little story, Afghanistan. We get in there, we're dealing with people, we, the U.S. powers that be, find some warlords that we want to help out, that seem like they'll help us out, so a little negotiation goes on there. And then one day they give these guys brand new rifles, whole bunch of rifles. I think they were AKs actually. But whatever they were, a bunch of rifles. And they say, okay, on Monday we'll have a formation, and I know they were M4s. I don't know why we were giving Afghans M4s, because we're stupid. We don't have a flexible mind, and we wanted to sell more M4s, but it was M4s. So we get this unit, we're giving them all brand new M4s, and on Monday we start training. So then on Monday there's a formation, and like, I don't know, handed out 250 M4s on Friday, and on Monday there's like 72 M4s in formation. Commander, come here, where's the M4s, man? Did the same thing with pistols. Did the same thing with trucks. You give a guy, 15 Toyota Hilux pickup trucks. Next thing you know, he's only got 4, not enough to do the mission. Dude. And I remember people in the military logistics system were just getting ticked. And they're saying, we got to find a way to charge these guys, like criminally, with stealing, because you gave them something in their country. They didn't understand warlordism. And we've talked about that. You have to have a flexible mind. They don't do things the way we do things. And so if you, and so just to put the icing on that, if I'm a warlord, I'm not a warlord because I'll kill anybody who looks at me cross-eyed. I'm a warlord because sub-warlords decided they want to follow me, right? Well, I've got sub-warlord Khan over here who has 200 warriors. And he's following me for now, but he might go follow another dude with his 200 plus warriors. I got to keep him happy. Or he goes to somebody else and all of a sudden that guy's stronger and I'm weaker. That ain't good. And so when I get gifts, I give him gifts. I got 30 pickup trucks. Here's 5. Take care of your uncle. He's the same thing. He's got to give stuff away. He has to pay off the police chief that's not going to bother his house while he's gone, and it just flows. In their system, that works. That's how it's always worked, forever. You're not going to change that by imposing American morals and values on that system. Okay, well, are we here to impose American morals and values on the Afghans, or are we here to kick these other guys' butt, and to do that we need these guys to help us? See what I'm saying? You could get all bent out of shape. I'm not working with thieves. What do you care? They'll help you blow up that building that you need to blow up. Work with them. You are going to be could be facing similar situations when this whole system falls apart. Right now, we're all soft. We all only have to talk to the people we want to talk to. We only have to deal with the people we want to talk to. I probably lost viewers on Patreon talking about a bar because people are like, I would never have a bar, not being on Pastor Joe's channel. I'm not having a bar either. It's not the point. But you may be forced to deal with people that you don't necessarily agree with. Again, and maybe it deserves its own video later, but I am not telling you to have flexible morality or flexible principles. Know what they are and hang on to them. But don't expect to apply your principles and morality to everybody else. It doesn't work that way. Not in the real world. All right. Flexible mind. Ask yourself what if. Consider other possibilities. Consider them deeply. Don't just go, Okay. It's going to rain. I think we're going to have an inside day today. Yeah. So, I'm interested in your comments. Hey, one more thing. I think it's because we're getting close to scary, crazy times. Some of y'all are starting to lose it a little bit. I've had to make some corrections. Be nice. Do not call each other names. If you don't agree with someone, don't say, well, you're obviously an idiot. Don't say, you've obviously been following idiots. It's the same thing as saying they're an idiot. You can have a different opinion. Be polite. The vaccine post. I don't even think, I haven't watched that one. I recorded it and put it up. I don't think I came down on a side, did I? I just said, hey, it's a thing. And I believe in parental rights and responsibility. I believe a parent can raise their kid how they want to. Whatever. You may not. I don't care. You shouldn't care. But that got a lot of people upset, and they started poking at each other. You do you, I'll do me. You vaccinate your kids, I won't vaccinate mine. And truth, I vaccinated the heck out of my kids. Took them to a third world country. They were pickled. I was pickled. I had so many shots in me. But I think if a parent doesn't want to vaccinate their kids, that's fine. I think if a parent wants to vaccinate their kids, that's fine. The point is, you can think whatever you want. That's cool. Just don't be mean or nasty to somebody who doesn't agree with you. Keep it real. We're Vikings. We got to exist on this long ship together. We don't want to be tossing anybody over the edge. We're going to hit that beach and fight together. Be cool. Have a flexible mind. All right, I'll see you out there.